Please repeat. Tada Puman Mukta Samasta Bandhanas Tad Bhava Bhava Nukrithashaya Kritihi Nigdhagdha Bija Nushayo Mahiyasa Bhakti Prayogena Samechya Dokshajam Tadapumam Mukta Samasta Bandhanas Tadbhava Bhava Nukrithashaya Kritihi Nidhigdha Bijanushayo Mahiyasa Bhakti Prayogena Samechya Dokshajam Tadapumam Mukta Samasta Bandhanas Tadbhava Bhava Nukrithashaya Kriti Nidhadhag Bijanushayo Mahiyasha Bhakti Prayogena Samechya Dokshajam Tadapumam Mukta Samasta Bandhanas Tadbhava Bhava Nukrithashaya Kritihi Nidhagdha Bijanushayo Mahiyasa Bhakti Prayogana Samechya Dokshajam. Please repeat. Tada. At that time. Puman, the living entity. Mukta, liberated. Samasta bandhanaha, from all material obstacles on the path of devotional service. Tat bhava, of the situation of the Lord's activities. Bhava, by thinking. Anukrita, made similar. Ashaya akriti, whose mind and body. Nidhagdha, completely burned up. Bija, the seed or original cause of material existence. Anushaya, desire. Mayisha, very powerful. Bhakti, of devotional service. Prayogena, by the application. Sameti, achieves. Adhokshajam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond the reach of material mind and knowledge. That means material mind and material knowledge. Translation. Srila Prabhupada. The devotee is then freed from all material contamination because he constantly thinks of the Lord's pastimes and because his mind and body have been converted to spiritual qualities. Because of his intense devotional service, his ignorance, material consciousness, and all kinds of material desires are completely burnt to ashes. This is the stage at which one can achieve the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. Please repeat. The devotee is then freed from all material contamination because he constantly thinks of the Lord's pastimes, and because his mind and body have been converted to spiritual qualities. Because of his intense devotional service, his ignorance, material consciousness, and all kinds of material desires are completely burnt to ashes. This is the stage at which one can achieve the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. Purport Srila Prabhupada. When a devotee is completely purified, he becomes anyabilasita sunyam. In other words, all of his material desires become zero, being burnt to ashes, and he exists either as the Lord's servant, friend, father, mother, or conjugal lover. Because one thinks constantly in this way, one's present material body and mind are fully spiritualized, and the needs of one's material body completely vanish from one's existence. An iron rod is put into a fire and becomes warmer and warmer, and when it is red hot, it is no longer an iron rod but fire. Similarly, when a devotee constantly engages in devotional service and thinks of the Lord in his original Krishna consciousness, he no longer has any material activities, for his body is fully spiritualized. Advancement in Krishna consciousness is very powerful, and therefore, even during this life, such a devotee has achieved the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. This transcendental ecstatic existence of a devotee was completely exhibited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya writes as follows: Tad bhava bhava yad yatha swarupam bhaktihi kechit bhakta vritindyanti gayanti chayekti sam kechit tustim japayanti eva kechit shobhaya karinaha. The ecstatic condition of devotional service was completely exhibited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who sometimes danced, sometimes cried, sometimes sang, sometimes remained silent, and sometimes chanted the holy name of the Lord. That is the perfect spiritual existence. Mukam karochi vatalam bhangam laite grim yad kripa tamaham bande Sri Guru linatarinam tad bhava pumam bhukta samashta bandhanas tad bhava bhava anukrita shayakritihi nidhagta bijanushayo mahiyasa bhakti prayogena samed chadhoksajam. The devotee is then freed from all material contamination because he constantly thinks of the Lord's pastimes, and because his mind and body have been converted to spiritual qualities. Because of his intense devotional service, his ignorance, material consciousness, and all kinds of material desires are completely burnt to ashes. This is the stage at which one can achieve the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. So, the verse starts Tadapu Mam, at that time, the living entity. So we'll refresh our mind for this description of ecstatic love. This is verse 34. One who is situated in devotional service is certainly the controller of his senses, and thus he is a liberated person. When such a liberated person, the pure devotee, hears of the transcendental qualities and activities of the Lord's incarnations for the performance of various pastimes, his hair stands on end on his body, tears fall from his eyes, and in his spiritual realization, his voice falters. Sometimes he very openly dances, sometimes he sings loudly, and sometimes he cries. Thus he expresses his transcendental jubilation. When a devotee becomes like a person haunted by a ghost, he laughs and very loudly chants about the qualities of the Lord. Sometimes he sits to perform meditation, and he offers respects to every living entity, considering him a devotee of the Lord. Constantly breathing very heavily, he becomes careless of social etiquette and loudly chants like a madman, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. O my Lord, O Jagatpate, O Master of the universe. The devotee is then freed from all material contamination because he constantly thinks of the Lord's pastimes, and because his mind and body have been converted to spiritual qualities. Because of his intense devotional service, his ignorance, material consciousness, and all kinds of material desires are completely burnt to ashes. This is the stage at which one can achieve the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. Yeah, so there is a poem. I was wandering in a dark forest, and I came to a fork in the road. Many went that direction, but I took the direction less traveled. So you were all those people who are taking the path less traveled. So we should understand that this is our destination. We should not think that this is just for the Paramahamsa, the Bhava Bhakta, the Uttamadhikari. We should, as Rupa Goswami, Nectar of Instruction, we should be confident that I will attain that. Guru Krishna Prasadi Bhai Bhakti Latabi, I will become there. It is not just for Prahlad Maharaj, but it is for everyone. And therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Right? The Chaitanya Charitamrita, I have broken open the storehouse of love of God. And I'm taking those fruits. And I'm asking, who will take these fruits? That means who will take? Who? You. Who will take? He's not forcing them. Who will take from my hand? The more I distribute, the more love of God comes in my heart. The more the lamp distributes electricity, if it gets full voltage by some miracle, then it becomes brighter. So the more light we distribute, the more current. Krishna Shakti vina nahe tare pravatana. Without Krishna Shakti, we cannot distribute this knowledge of Krishna. And that is the best way to attain the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, what is that process given to attain that? We should understand scientifically. This is description of the Bhava, Prem Bhakta in his ecstasy, forgetful of social etiquette. Nahan Vripacha Narapati, he does not concern. Gopi Bhata Kamalayo Dasa Das. He's immersed in his Stahi Bhav, as Prabhupada says there, as either as a servant, Dasya Bhav, Sakya Bhav, Vatsalya Bhav, Madhurya Bhav. He's in those fixed conceptions of the self. This arises clearly at the stage of Bhava Bhakti, Uttamadhikari. So how can we get there? That hint is given here in the verse. He's always thinking of the pastimes of the Lord. So that is not just for Bhava Bhakta, that is for you also. We should always, yes, we follow regulative principles, we chant regularly, but niyamagraha means we follow all those things, but we do not understand the purpose behind it. We're not understanding that this is what we want to do, and we're not applying our consciousness to understanding the absolute transcendental pastimes of the Lord. So we must be very careful about that. Don't just run through and rattle off your rounds like a tin can with a stone inside. Put some heart into it. Study the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Step by step, under the guidance, as we are so blessed, of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, the Sat Goswamis, and of course Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda himself. If we study under their guidance, that in itself is pleasing to the Supreme Lord. They've written all these books to be read, not to be put on the shelf, but to be distributed and explained. So we must understand the process, and this is essential, and the goal is to become absorbed in the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. That is the conversation of the transcendentalist, that is the conversation of the transcendental realm. What is Krishna's quality? What are Radharani's quality? What was Krishna saying? What did Radharani say? What did Lalita say? What did this happen? That is the conversation. So we gain entrance to that realm by focusing our attention on that, with the external protection of all the regulative principles. So here, hinted at, is, and Rupa Goswami has expounded that, we should understand scientifically. 8 stages of devotional service. What is the first? Shraddha. Shraddha means faith. Guru Krishna Prasadi by Bhakti Lata Bij. Bhakti Lata Bij is the seed of devotion. It's composed of Shraddha, faith. Now there is a stage before that, generally not put into bhakti system, but it prepares the ground for the bij. That is called bhakti unmay. It is ajata sukriti, unknowing devotional service. For example, Prabhupada says if somebody just touches these books, if they just hear one line, then their whole life is changed. That is talking ajata, unknowing devotional, or sukriti, pious activity that tills the ground so that the bhakti lata bij is not bouncing off a stone heart. So if somebody comes here, they buy a book, the children, they put their arms in the air, somebody says, oh, the deities look so wonderful. That is ajata sukriti. That prepares the ground from shraddha. So faith for the bhakti lata bij. After shraddha, sadhu sangha. Once there is faith in Krishna as a goal, the path less traveled, then the devotee, the aspirant, will think, let me find the association of devotees so I can get some instruction. And he's losing that, he's already taking the fork in the road. He's already thinking, I don't want this material life. There's something there in these devotees. They look very satisfied, very effulgent, they're very peaceful. They look like they have some goal in life other than this dirty material world, which is so unsatisfying, is already primed in that way. So then, bhajana kriya, because from the sadhu, he will get instruction. Don't watch television, don't waste your time. Make a list of your anarthas, follow these regulative principles, chant regularly, buy some Bhagavatam, study, read it, turn off the television. He'll get some bhajana kriya, instruction how to advance. That means guru. Generally the shiksha guru becomes the diksha guru. So he's taking instruction and then he's finding, yes, I'm getting some nectar, I'm getting some feeling from the association of devotees, instead of all this rubbish anxiety from the material world and their mental speculation about what life is about and what should be done, and the bankers and the this and the that and the this. He's not interested in that. Sri Sri Gauranitai Krishna Balaram Radhasham Sundar Lalit Vishaka Sri Guru Paramparago Matatal Simaranita Giri Govardhan Shalagram Maharaj Ki. So that is bhajana kriya. So then, following and taking the sadhu sangha, anartha nivritti. Now this is the tough bit. But again, that is given in the Bhagavatam. Now don't think that you will be able to overcome anarthas and follow regulative principles and chant regularly. Krishna calls them in the Gita, Prabhupada translates the regulative free principles of freedom. So, what is that verse? Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloka bhaktir bhavati naistake. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, all that is inauspicious in the heart is practically destroyed to nil. comes down to zero, almost zero. So that is anartha nivritti. So that is very important. How to become anartha nivritti? Param drisva nivartate. The param drisva is the pastimes of the transcendental realm and the transcendental devotees. It is not the pastimes of this material world. So this is what I'm saying. You must know the process and you must observe your application of the process. Of course, you want to know the day of the month, and you might want to know where you're going if there's a riot or something going on. So you may have to keep in touch with, to some extent, with the material events, but your focus should be the pastimes of the Lord. Let me get to know what is going on. Don't think that you know everything. They're unlimited. So anartha nivritti. And then nishta. Now nishta is the platform of actual Vaishnavism. That is the beginning of Vaishnavism. He's overcome attachment, and through bhakti bhal, the power of his bhajan and his knowledge and surrender. Anartha nivritti, also a very important point, that before we delve into the pastimes, we should have a good philosophical understanding. What is this material world? The dasha mula, the 10 points, primary points of the Vedic philosophy. And then through that focus given by the philosophical understanding, by the Bhagavad-Gita, the Ishopanishad, and the guidance of a true guru, then one can see the pastimes increasingly as transcendental. That will make one nishta, because you'll get some taste. Krishna, Radharani, Lord Chaitanya, this is wonderful, this is like nectar, this is Navayovana, this is ever fresh. Instead of chewing the chewed in the material world. So that will make you nishta. Then ruchi. Ruchi has two sides. Ruchi, first level of ruchi is, I'm getting a certain nectar in my chanting. And I'm enjoying chanting. That is lower stage. As our esteemed president asked in the last class, how can we get the taste for chanting? The upper stage of ruchi is that you're chanting and you're realizing that my chanting is pleasing to Krishna. And then the motivation for chanting becomes seva bhav. One is losing the Ishvara bhogi. I'm using this Hare Krishna mantra, I'm using devotional service for my enjoyment. People, pratishta, will think I'm wonderful. No, I'm performing bhakti now for the pleasure of the guru, chastely, and for the pleasure of the transcendental personalities headed by Krishna. So this is the higher stage. Once this happens, once this becomes strong, then one comes to ashakti. One becomes very attached. Now at this stage, shraddha turns into vishramba. Faith becomes realized faith, intimate faith. One becomes attached to Radha and Krishna. One becomes attached to Gaurnitai. One becomes attached to the lotus feet of the Paramahansa Guru. One thinks, I can't live without their service, without their direction. So this leads to bhava. Now the stage of bhava is Uttamadhikari stage. Uttamadhikari stage here described here. It means that stage, Bhava Bhakti, is described, Rupa Goswami. These 8 stages I'm giving are Rupa Goswami's elucidation, Nectar of Devotion. So at the stage of Bhava, 9 symptoms are prominent in the devotee. They can be divided into 2. One is completely, and Prabhupada says here, Anyabhilasita, no material desire. Anyabhilasita sunyam, jnana kamadya navritam. No desire for monistic liberation, no desire for some material fruitive result from bhakti. Krishna anushilanam sadbhya bhakti. That is pure devotion. So this is the realized, and at this stage, as Madhvacharya, Prabhupada quotes, he becomes the object of the Supreme Lord's mercy. The Supreme Lord reveals himself. Bhava Bhakti. As Prabhupada writes, Nectar of Devotion, at this stage, that is when real realization of Krishna takes place within the heart of a devotee. Actually realizing Krishna directly within his heart. And this is a great thrill. So, this Krishna, he's real. This is actual. And Krishna, I'm dear to Krishna, I belong to Krishna, and he is now more and more. And all his devotees, they belong to me. He feels identification, this bhava. So when Krishna is realized, then one's own swarup, one's own individual stahi bhav, mentioned here, is awoken. Just like when the sun comes up, you see everything else. The deviation among many Vaishnava sects is, you just meditate on yourself in this way. No, meditate on Krishna. You realize Krishna, and then you will automatically realize your own relationship with Krishna. You cannot realize your swarup, your relationship, your sthai bhav, without reference to Krishna. First, logically, you must realize Krishna, not only logically but shastrically. This is all very clear. So all these silly things like silly pranali or siddhi pranali and diksha patras and all this, so you imagine you're this, you imagine that, and you imagine this at an immature stage. They are devotees, we should respect them, but they do not have proper understanding because they have not studied at the lotus feet of the great acharyas. They have speculated and fill in the gaps with their speculation. So anyway, this stage, Bhava Bhakti, then Swarup is attained. This is Muktir Hitavanyata Rupam. Remember last Sunday we talked about this. Then the Swarupena Avavashtiti. Then the devotee becomes situated in his Swarup. And Prabhupada explains, there's a letter there, 1969, to Rupanuga. And there Prabhupada explains that we have Swarup always, but it is lying in seed form, within the bij, within the jiva. And just like the tree is lying within the seed, so the Swarup grows. And this Swarup is composed of ecstatic love. And it takes the form in the basic Charibhav. In Lord Chaitanya, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, I have come to dance, make people dance with Charibhav. So the Charibhav is there, it is fixed Swarup, it is Sthai Bhav. And then all the secondary rasa, what is that? Laughter, astonishment, chivalry, compassion, anger, dread, fearfulness, ghastliness, and then the 33 Sanchari Bhavs. They churn the ocean of devotion, and increasingly this ocean condenses into Prem Bhakti. And then the devotee, immersed in remembrance of Krishna and his pastimes and his incarnations, he loses touch with this material world, and as Prabhupada says here, he loses touch with his material body. And it is stated there in the Shastra. Prahlad, later on we'll see that, he goes all over the universe looking for the Paramahamsas and taking their association. And they don't care. What is that? Lord Rishabdev, right? He just threw everything aside, took off his wandered. So in his teachings he says that Mahatmanas Mahat Sevam Dwar Mahor Vimuktes, that service to the Mahatma, either Brahmavadi or even Brahmavadi, somebody is immersed in the spiritual nature of reality, is beyond the material conditioning, and he's seeing the Leela, Hiranmayena, what is that verse in the Upanishad? Hiranmayena Patrasyam Satyasya Pihitam Mukham. Oh Krishna, remove that Brahman effulgence. Let me see your form, your pastimes of bliss. So this becomes the fixed concentration of the supreme, of the devotee. And then he loses touch with his body and this external world. And it explained there that the Supreme Lord has to personally supervise that body. Because the devotee in his ecstasy described in these 3 verses, he loses touch with the external world. He doesn't know if it's day or night or it's food or this and that. So it explained that such a Paramahamsa, by grace of Krishna, and will sometimes come down to Madhyamadikari platform. And he will discriminate. Oh, this is demon, take away, don't associate. This is devotional, become friend of the devotee. This is Supreme Lord. He will do, and such devotees like Srila Bhakti Vinod, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, Srila Bhakti Vedanta, all these great Prabhupads, these great devotees, we should understand them in that way, that they're coming down and they are discriminating who is devotee, who is not, and how you can attain devotion. We should understand like that. And we should just worship them in awe and reverence. And pray that one bit of dust can be put on our head in some way. And then life is attained. This material world is death. It is walking death. As one devotee told me this morning, we're already dead. That day is fixed up. So don't waste one moment. So Lord Chaitanya has come and he's broken the storelives of love of God. And we should understand that. So now we should move on to who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes, tomorrow is the appearance of Srimati Radharani. And like I say, we must understand philosophy, and that is the entrance way to pastimes. So let us see who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, verse 4 and 5 in the Adi Leela, beginning. Before all the intimate explanation of Srimati Radharani, we should understand what is Mahaprabhu. Right. This is verse 4. Because of time constraint, we'll just read the translation by Prabhupada. May that Lord, who is known as the son of Sachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost core of your heart, resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, Radharani. He has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant spiritual knowledge of the mellow taste of his service. Right? So he has the radiance of, in the Shastra, in the Bhakti, the ecstatic Shastra, it is at the, what is the tree down there? Imlital. Yes, one time Krishna, he was waiting for Radharani, and he was so immersed in thought of Radharani, he became golden colored. So Radharani came and saw this golden form, so attractive. He came, but this is not Krishna. Krishna is Shyam. But then I can't be attracted to anyone but Shyam. So then she realized this is Krishna. So he approached Krishna in his golden, I'm so absorbed, I've taken on your Swarup, I'm taken on your golden color. So in Kali Yuga, what is this wonderful form? In Kali Yuga, I will, because this Dwapara Yuga, end of Dwapara Yuga, I will take this form and I will distribute love of God like nobody has ever distributed. Kalo Dosha Nidai Rajan, you know. So Radharani said, and I will roll in ecstasy in the ground. So Radharani said, then I will cover you, because I can't bear to think that your gentle body, just like Mother Yashoda and the gopis, they were always worried. Krishna's lotus feet are so soft like a lotus they'll be pricked when they go to the forest. I'll cover you with my form, with my effulgence, so that you won't be hurt in any way. So this is the golden form of Mahaprabhu. So Krishna is a big thief, Makkan Chor. What is that Makkan? Makkan means represents the mellow love of Godhead. So Krishna is a big thief. He's the unlimited thief. So when he comes, he steals the bhava of Radharani. He doesn't steal 10 rupees like a rickshaw anyway. He steals the greatest thing. What is the greatest thing in all creation? It is the bhava of Radharani. So next sloka. Yes. Here, this is the whole explanation of creation here. The loving affairs, this is verse 5, of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separated themselves eternally. Now this is very important. Radha and Krishna, why have they separated? This is the explanation. Now these transcendental personalities have again united in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. Now, Krishna has stolen the bhava of Radharani. That is explained. 3 internal reasons and 2 external. One is to satisfy externally the call of Advaitacharya. He was offering Ganga Jal and Tulsi. Mahaprabhu, come, we need you. Look at Kali Yuga. So to answer Advaitacharya's call. And then the second is to spread the Sankirtan movement. But then Krishna, he's looking at Radharani and the gopis in transcendental Leela, and he's thinking, oh, look, they're enjoying. What is that feeling? So here is the description of the internal reasons. Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi as the moon appeared from the ocean. So 3 internal. One is, he wants to understand the mood of service of Srimati Radharani. He wants to feel and understand that ecstatic love that she feels. He wants to understand it from within her position. And then he wants to understand what is it in himself that Radharani finds so wonderful. Why? Because often, you look in the mirror and you think, oh, look at that. But Krishna, he wants to understand himself from outside. Why am I so attractive to Srimati Radharani? Let me steal her bhava, her position, enjoy her bliss, her realization, her feelings, and then I can appreciate her more. So his emotion is to appreciate Srimati Radharani more. Tomorrow's her. So we should understand that. We should understand. And the verse before, what is the reason of creation? They have separated themselves eternally. Why? To churn the ocean of nectar. So this is the whole creation is based on this coordinate. Because we say the deity of Krishna, but Krishna without Radharani is incomplete, we can say. So actually deity, in English the word is moiety. It is one and different, Radha and Krishna. And by the Supreme within eternality, he has separated himself eternally, and this is the great if you like, polarity of ecstatic love. And if you understand this, and then you study, as Prabhupada recommends, Krishna Bhavanamrita and Govinda Leelamrita and all the pastimes, you will see that the pastimes work on this coordinate. Vipralamba Sambhog, union and separation. This is the coordinate. For example, in the Pratak Leela, Radha and Krishna, they awaken in the groves of Vrindavan together. Then they separate. Radharani goes to Vrishabhanu, and then Krishna goes to Nanda Maharaj. But then they meet again. Radharani comes to cook. Then they have many wonderful affair, pastimes. Then Krishna goes to the forest, separation. But then Radharani, on the pretext of collecting flowers, this is the Sunday pastime for the worship of Surya Dev, she also goes to the forest, secretly meets Krishna. Then they separate after loving pastimes. In the middle of the day, Radharani is separated, and then Krishna, but then she goes to the Surya Mandir and she offers the flower, but there's a very strange Brahmin there, and he's got very strange mantras. Who is this? And then they realize, this is Krishna. He's playing as a Brahmin, and then they enjoy such laughter and ecstasy. So, Vipralamba Sambhog. So the devotees, and this is particularly taught, and then they go back and then they meet Nikunja Yuno, Ratikeli Siddhai. They enjoy pastimes throughout the night, dancing, bathing in the Jamuna, flute song, so on and so forth. And all the devotees in the spiritual and material world, they are all servants of this Vipralamba and Sambhog. Nanda Maharaj, Mother Yashoda, the Sakas, the servants, it is all serving this polarity of Vipralamba Sambhog. This is like the pulsating heart. And this increases the eternal ecstatic love endlessly. So Mahaprabhu is Namo Mahavandan because he and his devotees, they distribute this understanding of the pastimes as transcendently ecstatic. By their grace, then we can understand the transcendental quality of the people in the spiritual world. So, that being said, let us read something about Srimati Radharani, who is the greatest consort and the beloved of Krishna. And tomorrow is her appearance day. Her guru yesterday, Lalita Shakhi, it said like that. Of course, Lalita Shakhi is Vamana Gopi. She's like the guru of Radharani. She's always careful that Krishna does not upset Radharani, whereas Vishaka Devi is always very calming influence, and so on and so forth. You should understand all these things. So here, this is from Dayan Chandra's very rare book, Sri Gora Govindarchana Smarana Pariti by Sripad Dayan Chandra Goswami. He is the disciple of Gopal Guru Goswami. You know Gopal Guru, when he was a small boy, he told Mahaprabhu, no, you can chant even going to the bathroom. But I know that your body, it is here in the introduction, is completely transcendental. This is just your pastime. So you can chant anywhere. So here in this book, it is described all the personalities of the extensions. There is one verse in the Yes. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabis Taberya Eva Nichirupada Kalabi Goloka Eva Nivisati Akalatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purisham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm Goloka with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure. the embodiment of the ecstatic potency, that is Radha, possessed of the 64 artistic activities in the company of her confidence Shakis and embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa. So these extensions, the Ashta-Shakti, they are extensions of Radharani. They are particular moods of Radharani, and they are her group. And then they extend as the Ashtamanjaris. So in this is the longest purport. It is written by Jiva Goswami. This book is, of course, Lord Brahma composed it, but Jiva Goswami wrote these purports. Then Professor Sangal, a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, translated those purports, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, he edited those purports. And Srila Prabhupada said, don't touch one word of this book. Of course, I don't know what the BVT have done, but that is Prabhupada's instruction. So in this long purport here, it is a discussion of the 64 artistic attributes, the 65 qualities of Srimati Radharani. You should study them particularly today and tomorrow. But here, by way of synopsis, Sri Radha's age, dress, and mantra Gayatri. So we'll present this to the Vaishnavas for your ecstatic hearing. And also in this book, description of all the manjaris, their parents, their nikunja, their leela, their service, and all the Ashta-Shaktis are there. We'll talk about Sri Radha. Then the age dress of Sri Radha is determined. In the Brihat Gotamiya Tantra, wonderful book, it is said Sri Radha is known as Devi, Krishna Mai, supreme goddess, in whom all Lakshmis reside. So all the gopis, they are her they all reside within her. They're all extended out. And Krishna expands himself to reciprocate with all those individualized moods of Radharani. That is the Ras Leela. In the middle, Radha and Krishna, and then the gopis, and Krishna expands out. So Krishna expands out to all living entities. But in the center, he is with Yugal Kishore, Radha, with Kishori. Supreme Goddess, within whom all Lakshmis reside. Her beauty and charm defeat all others. In a supplement to the Rig Veda, it is said, among all people, Radhika and Madhava together are the most beautiful. There's a meditation. In the Matsya Purana, in Varanasi, she is known as Sri Vishalakshmi. And in Purushottama Kshetra, she is called Sri Vimala. In Dwarka, she is Sri Rukmini, and as the queen of Vrindavan forest, she is called Sri Radha. In the Ujjvala Nilamani, that's the second part of Nectar of Devotion, a statement taken from the Padma Purana says, just as Sri Radha is the most beloved of Sri Krishna, similarly Sri Radha Kund is also very dear. Among all the gopis, Sri Radha is the dearest lover of Sri Krishna. Now, description of Radharani's form and dress. In the Radha Prakarana Ujjvala Nilamani, it is said, Sri Radhika's body is composed of Mahabhav. That is the zenith of prem, Mahabhav. The greatest of all Shaktis, and is the embodiment of Hladini Shakti. Baladev is the embodiment of Sat, Chit, but Radharani is the embodiment of Ananda. That is the Hladini Shakti. Therefore it is called Mahashakti. Radharani is Mahashakti. She expands in this material world as Durga, but she's also called Durga in the transcendental realm, because once you go to the transcendental realm, you cannot fall. Of that, the essence is Madana, which is the essence. This is Madana. We talked in today's class, there is that ecstatic, and the devotee lose touch with the material world, the Paramahansa. So Madana is that state. We can experience that, but not artificially. That is Prakrita Sahajya. We should pray to Krishna that we can just get off the bodily platform, at least myself. Sri Radha is the embodiment of that highest Mahabhav. This conclusion is well established. In the Gopal Tara Tapani, she is glorified as Gandhava. This daughter of Vrishabhanu has a very beautiful form and wears 16 items of beautification, Shringar, and 12 types of ornaments. An example concerning her beautiful form is given in the Ujjvala Nilamani, wherein Sri Krishna says, "O Radha, the locks of your hair curl beautifully, and you have a lotus-like face with elongated, restless eyes. Your chest is adorned with lovely, large and firm breasts. Your waist is attractively slender. Your head is bowed slightly in modesty, and your fingernails are like rows of jewels. Your beautiful form is a festival of elegance and the sweetness that crushes the vanity of the three worlds." Concerning her that's Krishna describing Radha. Can you imagine? 16 Shringar. Concerning her 16 items of beautification, Subal says to Sri Krishna, "After bathing, Radhika decorates the tip of her nose with an effulgent jewel. She dresses in blue clothing, Krishna is Shyam, with a sash, Nivabhandana, around her waist. Her hair is plaited, and she wears ornaments on her ears. Her limbs are smeared with camphor, musk and sandalwood paste. She wears flowers in her hair and a garland around her neck. In her hand she playfully carries a lotus flower. In her mouth she has tambula, and on her chin a dot of musk. She wears kajal around her eyes, and on her cheeks are musk paintings of dolphins, etc. The bottoms of her lotus feet are painted red, and she wears tilak on her forehead." Concerning her 12 ornaments, Subal says, "Radhika wears a diamond on her head, golden earrings on her ears, and tiny golden bells around her hips. A golden locket hangs around her neck. She wears a chakri sakala over her ears. That is an elaborate ornament that encircles the entire ear and fastens at the top. Bangles on her hands and a necklace around her throat. There are rings on her fingers and a group of star-like necklaces on her bosom. She is adorned with jeweled armlets, jeweled ankle bells, and radiant toe rings. She is very beautiful, wearing these 12 ornaments. Radha's age is in the middle of the Kaishora period. Just as previously, Krishna's age was increased by half again, so Radha's age is increased to 14 years, 2 months, and 15 days, eternally. This is the existence of the material world because it introduced certain concepts of time into the transcendental world that are servants of the Leela. She has a strong feeling that Krishna belongs to her, Madhyayata Bhav, as well as Madhu Sneha, a very sweet, affectionate mood. Her love for Krishna is pure, powerful and lasting, and she has various kunjas for her pastimes with him. Her home is in Yatayagargram. Her mother's name is Kirtida, and her father Vrishabhanu. Her husband's name is Abhimanyu, Parakiyabhav. Durmukha, he sleeps in the Goshala. Durmukha is her brother-in-law. Durmukha is her brother-in-law. That means the brother of Abhimanyu. Jatila is her mother-in-law, the mother of Abhimanyu. And Kukila is her sister-in-law. Just as Krishna always exists as Nayaka, heroic lover, Sri Radhika is forever the principal Nayika, heroine. Radha's Shakis are of 5 types: Shaki, Nitya Shaki, Prana Shaki, Priya Shakis, Paramapresta Shaki. So then there's a discussion of those. And each one of those Shakis expanded: Lalita, Vishaka, Chitraka, Champaklaka, Tungavidra, Indraleka, Rangadevi, Sudevi. They're the Paramapresta Shakis, the Asta Shakis. They love Radha so much, even though they're qualified to have their own groups, they are servants of Sri Radha. They would prefer to be her Shakis. And then there is a description. The Majita, that means Krishna belongs to me. Because Radharani has 25 qualities, the last of which is that Krishna is under her control, because of her 25 qualities. Sri Krishna, whose mood is very romantic, is my all in all. This unwavering bhava is called madhyata. An example, this is Radha speaking. Sri Radhika says, "O Narayan, knower of everything, Sri Krishna, who wears an array of peacock feathers in his hair, plays a flute and has a very beautiful lotus face. He is the Lord of my life. He has now disappeared from this place. Please tell me where he has gone." One day, just for fun, Krishna displayed his 4-armed form before Sri Radha, but her pure love forced him to resume his 2-armed form. That is from the Yata. One day in the spring season, Sri Krishna was performing Ras Leela with the doe-eyed gopis near Govardhan Hill. So the Ras Leela at the beginning of Kartik Mas is at Govardhan Hill. The Sadhana Siddhas and the Kripa Siddhas, they don't join that. They join the Rasa Leela at the end of Kartik. And the Rasa Leela at Govardhan is for the Nitya Siddha devotees and Krishna. So here is an excerpt. One day in the spring season, Krishna was performing Ras Leela with the doe-eyed gopis in Govardhan Hill. Wanting to begin a different pastime, he entered the forest and hid from them in a kunja. Suddenly, as he was watching for them, he discovered that the gopis had surrounded him on all sides and he had no way of escape. Being very clever, he decided to trick them by displaying his 4-armed form. He did this and remained motionless like a murti. Seeing that object of her love had transformed himself into a Narayan Murti, the gopis offered obeisances and prayed that they may see Krishna again. Then, because of the wonderful power of Radha's love, she revealed his 2-armed form to her alone. In the presence of her love, he was unable to retain his 4-armed form. So Radharani, by love, controls Krishna. In the spiritual world, and the bona fide guru, he controls his disciples by love. The Uttamadikari, Paramahansa Guru, he is a manifestation of that loving principle. In the transcendental world, prem is the controlling principle, the interaction of all the devotees. Now, Madhu Sneha, that is the mood of Radharani, her affectionate feeling. The characteristics of Madhu Sneha are now described. That type of affection wherein the lover says of the beloved, "He is mine," is called Madhu Sneha. This bhava has no comparison in sweetness. It is the meeting place of various rasa and is characterized by passionate drunkenness and pride. Madhu, honey, is by nature very sweet and is mixed with nectars of various flowers. When taken, it produces both heat and drunkenness. Thus, this type of sneha, affection, is known as Madhu Sneha. Krishna said to Subal, his big friend, "Alas, Sri Radha is so full of sweetest affection that she is like a murti made of nectar. Possessing very deep transcendental qualities, she has melted like butter in the fire of eagerness for me. If I simply hear her name, I swoon with rapture and forget everything." This, and then there is more expansion. I don't know how long we can go on. We'll finish with the 25 qualities of Radharani. So here is a very wonderful, we must hear what Purnamasi says. The love between Radha, because there's no breakfast this morning, right? This is the real nectar. Oh, yes, there is. Okay. The love between Radha and Madhava is a festival of endless and unwavering bliss. Its equal does not exist in either the spiritual or material worlds. It appears instantly and is never disturbed by anything. Due to much grief from fear of her elders, they have had to devise various clever means for meeting together. You understand? Vipralamba Sambhog. This is all the basis of the Leela. And a very special flavor of increasing rasa has arisen. So, I forgot that there was breakfast this morning. So, shall we finish? Well, I'll wrap it up with 25 qualities of Srimati Radharani from the Madhya Leela, verses 87 to 91. Let me see if I can master this thing. Because tomorrow is actually Radharani's appearance day. Yes, this chapter is entitled Life's Ultimate Goal, Love of God. So here we are. This is to Sanatan Goswami, if I remember correctly. Similarly, Srimati Radharani, read this chapter 23 in Madhya Leela. Srimati Radharani has unlimited transcendental qualities, of which 25 qualities are principal. Sri Krishna is controlled by these transcendental qualities of Srimati Radharani. Here's Radharani's 25 qualities. Srimati Radharani's 25 chief transcendental qualities are: she is very sweet. She is always freshly youthful. Her eyes are restless. She smiles brightly. She has beautiful auspicious lines. She makes Krishna happy with her bodily aroma. She is very expert in singing. Her speech is charming. She is very expert in joking and speaking pleasantly. She is very humble and meek. She is always full of mercy. She is cunning. She is expert in executing her duties. She is shy. She is always respectful. She is always calm. She is always grave. She is expert in enjoying life. She is situated at the topmost level of ecstatic love. She is the reservoir of loving affairs of Gokul. She is the most famous of submissive devotees. She is very affectionate to elderly people. She is very submissive to the love of her friends. She is the chief gopi, 25. She always keeps Krishna under her control. In short, she possesses unlimited transcendental qualities, just as Lord Krishna does. Srimati Radharani Ke Jai. So tomorrow is Radhastami, but we should prepare. So through the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the 6 Goswamis, we can understand. But remember, it is absorption in the Leela of Radha and Krishna, Gaur-Nitai, that we become qualified. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, Sri Guru Parampara, Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ke Jai. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.